Hi, it's me, Alex. This is my reading vlog for my fourth book of the Shorty September readathon. I'm reading In a Lonely Place by Dorothy Hughes. And at this point on Thursday, I had started it, did not get very far. You will see how long it takes me to really get into this book. It was a very busy week. But first, we had to bake a cake and do baseball practice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy. Happy birthday to you. Good morning, YouTube friends. I didn't get a chance to say hello yesterday. It was Nate's birthday, so as you saw, Owen and I did some baking. It was like 80% successful. Cake stuck to the pan, so they had to get like mushed in to get layered, and so serving was an absolute disaster. But whatever, we baked him a spice cake, and then Nate prefers brownies, but Owen wanted to bake a cake, so we did both. We spent a couple hours at our friend's house, so the kids got to run around their yard. I got to sit and chat with my friend. And then we did the baseball dash around where I drop Owen off at practice, bring Oliver to practice, stay at Oliver's practice. Nate picks Owen up from practice, and then we met up for dinner, a little birthday dinner. And that was my day. I did manage to start In a Lonely Place. And Birdie, I think this is going to be a successful Burt wreck so far. And when I say started, oh my gosh, my bookmark's not even in the right place because it fell out this morning when I woke up. I'm maybe 10 pages in. I'll have to find it again. But it opens with this guy standing in the fog, and he just felt like going there, not exactly sure. It just kind of was the place to go. And then he watches a bus pull up. Well, the lights of the bus disturb him, and he's like, how freaking dare? But then he sees a girl get off the bus, and just his observations watching her, and like based on like the little details of like the suit she's wearing, the shoes she's wearing, the way she's walking, like he could tell like she's not going to a party, she's not doing whatever. She's coming home from work, which means this is an everyday thing. I could come back and watch her another night. And so then he starts following her, and he picks up on the moment that she becomes aware of him following her, and he gets a little thrill from making her nervous. And then they get to like a bend in the road, or part of the walk where now traffic has picked up and there's headlights, fog lights cutting through, and like her sense of unease is like she's better now. She's not isolated on the road with a man following her. And like he's just annoyed at the cars, and he ends up in a bar, and like just his observations of the people in the bar are like, these two are too loud. But you know what? Like, I've calmed down. I'm okay. That bartender, that old man, I like the look of him. Like, I'm okay right now, even though those two are like way too loud for my liking. And like, so it's just like a bunch of like these very self-centered observations of other people, you know, like how dare things not suit his sensibility. And it comes across so well. Like, it was so entertaining. Like, you could tell this guy is like kind of a psychopath, sociopath, like narcissistic. Like, Nate and I have been watching the Bones series. It was Fox series with a forensic anthropologist and an FBI, and they're partners to solve crimes in which the remains are mostly skeletal. So we've been watching that series, and we just got through several episodes that dealt with a serial killer, like sociopath. And so like just the tone was very like identifiable. And so I really like that. Did not get to read much. And right now I'm making myself breakfast. I'm about to pour my coffee. I had to clean Oliver's room. He sleeps with the dog every night, so his bed is disgusting. I told him to get into the habit of brushing said dog. The little one, not the big dog. But still, the little dog sheds like crazy. But I gotta clean his room, wash sheets, change sheets, pull out the trundle and get that all straightened up. Dust floors, all that, because my in-laws are visiting. They're gonna spend the weekend. It was their son's birthday yesterday. And now tomorrow's the first day of baseball game, so we'll get to see the boys play baseball. So what am I gonna read?
Nope. Not a friendly.
My house is clean enough. My in-laws are over. I left Oliver with them, brought Owen to practice, ran up to pick up Oliver's uniform, and now I'm back at Owen's practice. I got about an hour, and I think I can finally crack this book. I've read a total of like 3 pages all day today. Time for some early morning baseball. Running on 0 sleep. And we'll be at this all day.
For the record, really enjoying this book. I'm just not actually reading it. I've been so freaking busy. Yesterday, between our 2 kids, we had 6 baseball games. In the morning, Owen and Oliver played at the same times. So Nate and his parents took Owen, I took Oliver. But one of the dads from Owen's team figured out a way to stream the game, so I was able to watch the game live. So I was trying to pay attention to 2 sets of games at the same time, which means I wasn't paying attention to either one of them. Anyway, so I feel like whenever I open this up, I only read like 2 pages at a time. Because I'm either trying to get something done, running from place to place, sitting at baseball, and like, even though I bring my book and I get there an hour early, I can't focus. I'm watching the warm-ups. And then when I do read it, I'm still very distracted. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I think it's the lack of sleep leads to lack of focus. We have 2 baseball games today, but before that, in bed with my coffee. Let's read another page or 2.
All right, boys. Talk to your pitcher, boys. There we go. All right.
This book is so clever. It is so interesting. Definitely would have worked for the unreliable narrator prompt. Also would have worked for the half and half shorts prompt, but I am using it for the ripped shorts murder mystery. Here, my kids. I don't know what they're doing. I'm sure they're wrestling or something. Anyway, but yeah, unreliable narrator. You're totally, so the main character is Dick Steele, and you're in his head, and just everything is so calculated, and you really get a sense of his arrogance, narcissism. He's just playing games. Every conversation, every interaction he has with whoever is like a mental game. Like, so you don't trust him, but he's your main character, but you don't trust him. But is he this is concerning a serial strangler case in Los Angeles, and like, is it him? It doesn't seem like it could be him. But then he says things that you're like, bro, it's you, isn't it? So whichever way this goes, I am there. And I am hooked and I'm interested. Just got to the part, well, there's a conversation and part of the dialogue ties in the title of the book. And so that's always fun to recognize that nod to the title within the story. In this case, it's talking about the mentality of a murderer. So they're talking about being at a standstill in the case and whether or not they close a case and does the killer get away with it. And Brub, the detective, says, I won't say that, although I honestly don't think he ever does escape. He has to live with himself. He's caught there in that lonely place. I finished it, finally, and like 5 stars, 10 stars, so good, so good. I don't think I have done a very good job throughout this vlog explaining the whole plot of this book. It follows, it's not first person, but you are very much inside the head, despite it being third person. Like, it is a very, very, very narrow focus where you are inside one character's head the whole time. And what's going on is that he is subletting an apartment. There's something suspicious there with that whole setup.
from a wealthy friend. He himself does not have money. He is on a very tight allowance given to him by his uncle, who I guess raised him. He is in LA. He's from the East Coast. His uncle is back in Jersey. He introduces himself as from New York because that sounds better than being from Jersey. Whatever. But he's staying in LA, and it opens with him. I talked about the opening scene earlier, but very early on in the book, he looks up this old war buddy of his, and that friend is a detective working this case of, I guess what I learned in the afterword is that serial killer was not a term used at this time, but they just kept calling it the Strangler. Like every month, the Strangler strikes. So his best friend is the main detective on that case. He's like really freaking weird. Like from the moment you meet him, page 1, he's very unsettling, and like you can't trust him. And like I said earlier, everything is just like this like mental gymnastics with him. Like every conversation is like a chess game. And I think you know what's going on the whole time, but there's room for doubt the whole time. Well, until like the very end. Then it's very obvious. But this was fascinating, so well done. For so this is the reprint from Feminist Press, and so in the back is an exploration of like what makes this feminist when the whole time we're in the mind of a man, a psychopath, and there are women victims. And so the afterward does a good job at saying like none of these victims were blamed in the way that a lot of psychological thrillers from the time were doing. Like think of Norman Bates, like it was his mom's fault that he was so messed up, and none of that is present in here. And I think so that's what makes this viewable from a feminist lens. Really, really, really good. Thank you for the recommendation, Bert. I have been telling Nate about it as I read it all week, and so I'm hoping he'll pick it up. I think he'll like this. I know I was hoping he would read Hawk Mountain when I read that one too. There was a reading blog of myself reading Hawk Mountain, and I really wanted him to read it. Wasn't his bag, so I ended up just telling him all the stuff anyway. Didn't do a good job. So he kind of looked at me like, yeah, not picking that up. So I'm hoping he will trust me and try this one. I'll let you know. But yeah, finally, book 4 of Shorty September is complete. Like I've said, this is going to tick off my ripped shorts prompt. However, you know, put this in your bag if you need something for the Emperor's New Shorts, or there's, you know, they're coastal, so it could be a beach read. It is a film starring Humphrey Bogart and Gloria Graham. I found the film in like 10 parts on YouTube to watch for free. Immediately different from the book. Straight off the bat, not at all the setup. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch all of it. We'll see. As you see, I struggled a little mentally with my focus and exhaustion this week, but I slept really great last night. Put myself to bed at like 9:30. I'm like, what a difference. Sleep. Who knew? But okay, I'm done now. Book 4, Shorty September. Success. I loved it. I loved it. Read it.